Hi, I'm Delia Carr, and my presentation is about a paradigm shift in education. So I just want to start out with a quick question. Who here went to public elementary or public high school? So just like 86% of the American public, you are educated in a sometimes failing public school system. Now, of everyone who went to public school, you all had to take standardized tests. Did everyone pass their science tests? I'm assuming yes, since it's a graduation requirement. So sometimes these tests overlook the most important basic concepts. Can anyone tell me what number right there has to be put to balance this equation?
2.
It's really simple, right? So why do we know this? Why is this an important thing? Because it's what's on the test, right? Everything that's on the test is deemed important by the government because it's on our standardized test. But who here knows what KMNO4 actually is? I had no idea. It's called potassium permanganate, but we might have had to memorize what it is a couple of times, but do we actually know what it does? Because it's actually pretty cool. We see it every single day. Maybe not the Holy Grail from the Indiana Jones movies, but we interact with it all the time. Its oxidizing qualities can make this normal prop look old and worn out. But did you know that maybe after your chemistry class, when you walk out to the hallway, you take a drink from the water fountain? Did you know that you're actually drinking this mysterious KMNO4? It's used as a disinfectant in our water supply. And even further, when you go down to the lunchroom, maybe your mom packs you some fruit for lunch, it's used as a preservative in fruit, so you're actually eating this every single day. But we would have never known this because it's not what's on the test. It's not important enough to be on the test, even though it's an everyday thing. So how many of you guys have sat in a classroom and maybe raised your hand or heard a classmate ask the question, well, is this going to be on the test? I know I have a million times. And if I heard no, I immediately zoned out. I stopped paying attention. I started doodling my notebook, looking at the clock, counting the seconds until I could leave. But as soon as I heard that it was going to be on the test, I zoned back in just as quickly as I zoned out before. Because ever since standardized testing starts when we're in first grade, we learn that the test is what's most important. And sometimes the actual quality of our education takes a back seat to the test. School districts are forced to pay thousands of dollars each year on practice booklets and practice guides because they're just so important. If we perform poorly, teachers can get laid off and the school district loses funding. But sometimes these tests are set up in a way that's just not fair. According to Fox, the average first grader can focus for 18 minutes. You multiply the child's age by 3 to get their average attention span. But as you can see, the Tennessee State Standardized Tests, the TCAPs, they're significantly longer than how long a child can actually focus for. How is that fair that we're setting up first graders for failure? By third grade, it's even worse. Every single one of the tests are at least double the average 8-year-old's 24-minute attention span. What makes it even worse is that most schools do their standardized testing 1 week at a time. So you send an 8-year-old into class 5 days a week to take a test that they physically can't pay attention for that long. It sets them up for failure, and it's impossible for us to perform well or for government to get an actual taste of how well we're doing because the tests aren't set up the right way. What makes it even more unfair is that each kid learns in a different way. We have audio learners that learn from lectures and hearing things, visual learners which learn from from graphs and looking at things, and then from hands-on experiments and actually handling models. But how can a kinesthetic learner sit there for hours taking a test on graphs and charts and be expected to do well when that's not how they learn? A better, more accurate representation of how much they learn would be for a science test, making them do an experiment or practice with a hands-on model. The tests are set up completely unfairly because they're too long and they don't help kids who need different learning styles. As kids who have gone through this testing stage, we know what it's like. So as the future leaders, what are we going to do to change it?